Hey guys, welcome back to the shop. Today we're going to make some edge grain cutting boards, and this is the first time that I've ever made cutting boards. All I know is I want to make some cutting boards for Christmas gifts, so I just watched a bunch of YouTube videos, and then I'm just going to wing it. I went to my local lumber dealer and picked up some boards of walnut, cherry, and maple. All boards are 4/4. And the plan here is to make 5 cutting boards total, 4 walnut and 1 cherry. The cherry one was going to be the larger one, but apparently it exploded in the planer, so we had to scrap it. Since I have no clue what the hell I'm doing, I want you guys to comment below your tips, tricks, do's, don'ts, what I did wrong, what I did right, and any kind of advice you can give me to help me along the way. And I'm going to take those comments and suggestions and remake the cherry board for a new video. And without further ado, let's get to the video, and I hope everybody has a happy holiday. And as I mentioned before, I went to the lumber store and picked up a bunch of hardwoods. This here is a walnut, and I'm going to go ahead and mark out all the defects, and then we're going to cut everything to rough lengths with my brand new jigsaw. And this jigsaw is actually really good, so I might give the jigsaw a second chance. We'll see. The plan here is to make 4 walnut cutting boards plus 1 cherry board that's going to be larger. Take all the boards over to the joiner, and we're going to square up all the stock. And once we have a flat surface on one side, we're going to take it over to the planer and plane it all down to 3/4 of an inch in thickness. And once we have all the stock square, we're going to use the cleaning spool glue line rip blade to cut out all the parts. Now I'm going to take all the larger boards and just start ripping out strips until I have a very large stack of strips. So now on to the glue up. I spent many different ways of trying to figure out what is the best way and how much glue to use for all these glue ups. And I think I would maybe use a little too much glue right here, and I'm also using an acid brush to spread it, which was very tedious. Which is kind of like mowing your grass with a pair of scissors. I honestly think the glue is going to set before I even finish spreading the glue. This is not the way.
Bad baby.
And now we just take all the pieces and smush them together. And you forgot to put glue on the last piece there, sir. We'll figure it out eventually. Come on, you can figure it out. There you go. And then there's one thing I learned from Jason Bent at Ben's Woodworking is that when you do glue ups like this also includes tables, do not over tighten your clamps. You can tighten them up to let the glue squeeze out, but then back off the clamps so they will realign themselves. It's an outstanding tip, Jason. Good job. So here is the second method I found for glue ups. I apparently had this little glue roller applicator thing, and I'm going to use that to do the second set of boards. I didn't like this method either. This is also not the way.
No. What do you mean no? No.
And also, if you have a board that has a little defect in the surface or the face of the board, go ahead and flip it around so that the defect is facing up. Because all the boards that are facing down is actually going to be the top. And after the boards have set overnight so the glue can cure, go ahead and take them out of the clamps. This is going to be very messy. I'm going to take the belt sander at 80 grits and knock down all the high spots and get rid of the glue. Well, that's until the sander decided to unalive itself, and then I had to switch to the orbital sander, also at 80 grits. So once you get done with your marathon sanding session, we're going to go ahead and run the boards through the planer again, and then we're going to do some more sanding with some higher grits. Then I'm going to take the piece over to the table saw and cut out the 2 boards from the long piece. I'm going to add a juice groove using this little knockdown jig that I learned how to make from Tamar at 3x3 Custom. She has a fantastic video on how to make this and a bunch of different ways to do juice grooves. Also, when you're doing a juice groove, make sure that router is tight to the board at all times. If it lifts up, you're going to have wiggly lines, and nobody likes wiggly lines. And next, we're going to get our team chamfer on, and I'm going to add a chamfer to all the edges of the board. Apparently during this operation, I didn't like the size of the chamfer, so I increased it. So we just redid it again to make it look prettier. Now this is one of the times I don't mind sanding. I'm going to take a piece of 220 grit sandpaper and sand out all the grooves. And one of the things I have been focusing on in the shop is paying attention to the little details like this hand sanding. If you pay attention to those details, your projects will come out much, much better. I'm going to sand the whole board now to 220 grit and we'll get it ready for finish. And now for the best part about cutting boards is applying the oil-based finish. This finish is from Worse Oil. It is the Worse Oil cutting board oil. This oil is food safe and it penetrates pretty well, and it makes your projects look absolutely gorgeous.
It's so beautiful.
So let's just sit back and watch the process. And once your cutting boards sit overnight, we're going to go ahead and buff off all the excess oil. And then we're going to add a thin coat of the Worse Oil wood wax. This wax goes on pretty simply and just let it sit for 15 minutes and then buff it right back out. I would not suggest using a microfiber towel. I would use a blue shop rag that's lint free. And that is a wrap on the 2023 Christmas gifts video series. Appreciate everybody for sticking around and watching the video. And if you have any comments and any suggestions, please leave those in the comments section below. You guys have a good one.